developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Welcome in to the Husker Tennis Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Nebraska men's tennis head coach and former ITF and ATP Tour professional Peter Kobelt for your look inside Husker men's tennis. Join Coach Kobelt as he takes you from the baseline to the net with all the news in college and pro tennis and beyond. It's time for the first set with your host, Peter Kobelt.
It is 10:03. Local time. Harrison Arns, what's the question, sir?
Do you know where your kids are?
Do you know where your kids are? It's 10 o'clock. Lincoln, you better know where your kids are. That's what we got to tell you. That's the first question we got to ask.
Cobalt, were you in that generation? Do you know that reference?
Do you know that reference?
I
had to break it down to him.
Do you know where your kids are? Like, there's no cell phones. There's no social media.
There was a nightly radio and TV thing that at 10 o'clock across the country. It started in New York. But it would at 10 o'clock, right? As you would go back then, that's when the local news, the nighttime news would start. 10 o'clock, now 11 o'clock. And this voice would come over. Harrison, can you find it?
Yeah, give me a second here. I got pulled up on YouTube.
And so all over the country. It started in New York, but it was just this guy who said, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? And it was all over the country. And I don't know what happened one night. We're just hanging out here late, being wacky. And I said it to Harrison. He looked at me like I had 8 heads. And I was like, no, bro, it was an actual thing that all over the country, it became a thing that at 10 o'clock across the country, people would go, do you know where your kids are? And you have to be careful how you say it because it can come off creepy, which we rather enjoyed. To go, okay, yeah, you have to, Harrison, if you're going to do it, you got to get the right tone. You got to get the right inflection.
Yeah, I tried it last night. It was not the right tone.
No, you missed last night. You swung. You
probably made more parents nervous. All right, I did find the audio.
There we go.
That's our most signature phrase.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
I think we have the most recognizable tagline in New York television history.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Anyone who ever
watched the question that culturally in black neighborhoods, there's a time when you have to be home. Okay. And Harrison finally figured it out. So if I ask Coach Peter Kobelt, Husker tennis, as a young man, as a adolescent or teenager, what time did you have to be home at night?
Man, I'm trying to remember back. My parents were on it, but they also let me stay out. But there weren't too many sleepovers. There weren't too many get-togethers. Yeah. It was more about, getting into a routine. We got to be up early. We got to get to work. We got to get to school.
Yeah.
But lights were out by 11 every night.
Harrison, give Coach Peter Kobelt the correct universal answer to what time, especially black kids, what time black kids had to be home. Harrison, what's the answer?
Streetlights. Come on.
Be home before the streetlights come on. And that was always the thing. And we've had all the hosts, and we went through the check boxes.
Well, we're a bunch of small town kids here in Nebraska. A lot of us. So in these small towns, it's like
you didn't have streetlights.
Some of us didn't. You know, a lot of us lived on the gravel. So what streetlights are you looking at?
Yeah, it's well, for us it was the rec center, basketball court. But usually for me, like I lived on a corner, so there was this huge light pole, and when it started to flicker, it was almost like a chain command of kids who were going streetlight, 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 and then everybody would sprint down the street. It's time to go to get it in. Coach, how you doing? What's happening?
Good. I was just catching up with Harrison a little bit before the show started. Finally, this is probably the first day in probably 3 weeks where I've been able to kind of the second half of the day kind of take a deep breath and get home early, which has been nice. So also nice to come down here and hop on the show again. So
well, as I asked you the other day, what we wanted to do is to put you in the prime time to get you during the daytime, and the 11 o'clock to 12 noon time slot. I'm like, okay, just tell me which day of the week you can make that work, and that's what we'll plug in. And I want to make sure we got it right. We said Tuesday.
Tuesdays at 11.
So that'll be the forward is Tuesdays at 11 with Coach Kobelt. So that's we're excited. That's we're building that coaches lineup on Tuesdays. Of course, Jalen, Mark Manning, Rocky Russo from the Stars. We're going to push some other folks into that pocket where Tuesdays, and I know the university has stuff going on, but we try to make it so that coaches can come in and talk about their programs.
It's great.
To do that. And then a thing happened yesterday where Coach Manning he came in, he was talking about they have their wrestle offs.
Okay.
And they're open to the public.
Interesting.
And I said, yeah, they're doing it tomorrow, Friday at 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, since it's public,
sure.
Since it's public, would there be any reason why the ticket couldn't just come down there and broadcast from the event? And he goes, well, I'll ask. And so he asked, and they're like, well, it's public. So It's not like we're going to share any information that people wouldn't know, right? It's not like we're going, hey, guess what? Guess who really won? No, right. It's going to be there. And then, of course, Manning then he went a step further. He goes, you guys want to call it? You guys want to call it? And I was like, yeah, okay. And, of course, the idea of him getting Jay Foreman, he wants AJ Ferrari versus Foreman.
Yeah, he's talking about that a lot.
I was like, do not do that to either one of them.
That'd be a matchup right there.
That would be pay-per-view.
Jay's got the hookup to AMI, though, so if he needs to.
Well,
advanced medical imaging.
He's got some deterioration going on, and I think the gray hair is a dead giveaway. But that's why I asked you if that was the thing that maybe forward. I don't care if we don't have to stream the practice, but I just think the sights and sounds and the vibe of being at practice with us broadcasting our regular show from there would be pretty cool. And then you could, coaches can come by, players can come by. We could do that, and we could do that again with full permission. Of course, you got to go to the people you got to go to. But I think it's a great way to get the people to know the program and the people.
For sure, and I've talked about it with my staff a little bit. We want to do some things a little bit differently coming into the season. We want to have, you see football all the time with officials at practice. That's a pass interference. That's a this. That's a that. So we're trying to do a mock match, with inter squad match with some officials sitting in the chair, making it real life. I think having a few days. Obviously, the tennis community here is really amazing, and letting them come, making it a day later this fall where they can all come and sit in and watch practice. That's kind of like what it sounds like wrestling's doing with this thing on Friday. I might just have to stop by too. Yeah. Check it out. Yeah. But I mean, we're trying to do all those things. I think it's a unique time where you can really let people in and see things. I think it's cool. I think it's a great way for the community to get to know not just me and my staff, but all the guys in the team and to kind of see, okay, like this is what the guys did last year. This is how they look this year. Like, ooh, they don't look as good, or ooh, they look a little bit better. Or I like that guy. That's the freshman. Oh, he'll be fun to watch this spring. So kind of get things rolling.
To be able to tell the stories, and again, you guys will tell the stories better than we can. When people actually get to know you,
sure,
it will make it easier. And I think just being again, the sights and the sounds of tennis in full at a practice, I think makes a great backdrop.
You have to have a few. You have to bleep some things out. At least coming from me.
We do have a dub button.
What do they have? The duck sounds or whatever you guys do.
We're pretty good about that. No, but sitting through the one practice, you were very controlled. I think you went 3 for the entire day. I think you had 3 bombs.
They just at this point they just kind of come when they come,
right?
And I don't even feel them anymore. They're just there.
But I'm not. It's not like we're gonna have you mic'd up, right?
No, I mean but
I don't think it travels that far. I think
okay. Well, yeah, but then, we're good. But like I run for people that don't know, like I run a demanding practice, and nothing is really derived or directed at one player, but more so the entire team. And if the team's not doing their job, then they're going to hear about it immediately. So
and it's more of an exclamation point than a derogatory.
Exactly.
It's not demeaning. It is it's snapping the finger or blowing it. You don't blow a whistle.
Absolutely. And I think, you got to be really careful with that stuff. And you also, I think whenever you hold the standards that high, you also have to be able to come back just as far the other way and show that you care and show that you got a little bit of humor to it, and you're able to laugh and enjoy practice too, while you're also trying to set the tone and make sure everyone gets better. So there's a fine line and there's a balance between it all. But yeah, I think I don't know when we'll do it. We have a few more weeks of practice, but I think it'd be really fun to kind of do something like that and get everyone together, get the public out, and kind of celebrate tennis in Nebraska, at least with the men's program. So.
Well, and we talked to Coach Klempa, bowling. That's a thing that we're going to do. I think gymnastics, both men's and women's, will be able to do that just to go in. The idea of having Harrison down there in the men's gymnast uniform.
Is that what's happening?
I don't think anybody wants to see that, if I'm being honest.
To have him, we need a little Nadia come in each action with Harrison, see if he can stick the landing, get him on the. I think the vault would be safe.
If you give me some those foam cubes, I'll try whatever.
Well, they have it. They have the big pit, right?
So would you rather do that, or would you rather be the first serve at one of our matches in the spring?
If I get some warm ups on serve,
he really had to reboot just now.
I was gonna say I had to think about that one.
Yeah, that one's kind of an honor. That'd be sick. I'd make a fool of myself in the gymnastics. I'd try it, but I'd probably make a fool. First serve would be sick. I could get it over the net.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
I played tennis. It's been a minute.
See, that's the discussion Anthony Smith and I had literally today about the mortals of the world who think that they could just transition and I can get it over the net with no pressure. I haven't played in forever, but hey,
I'm gonna have it's not like I'm gonna walk in cold. I'll get a 2-week tune-up, and make sure I'm ready to go.
Look, there's a coach in the room. I think you could just work with him, and I think he would. You have to get up.
I think he's got his priorities on his real players, not some knucklehead at the ticket.
Well, I think. Listen, if you're willing to get up one morning, coffee head,
there's a problem.
Yeah, get up one morning and come down. He would work with you.
Come down at the end of practice, 10 a.m.
Yeah, I do owe you an apology because I did miss the last one. But to be fair, I was going to get everybody sick if I showed up to that one. I was sniffling away. But I do need to check out at practice because DP said you're a little bit of a different Peter Kobelt at practice than you are in the ticket studio.
I'm a little more chill in the studio.
Yeah. No, but the truth was you were exactly what I expected. Coaches know coaches. So I'm going, you know what? In order for him to get this group, and this is a different group, and you could tell it's a little bit different personality-wise from last year's group, but the way you managed them was a lot of it was consistent verbiage. You didn't say much, but what you said, they all recognized right away. Okay, tempo, pace. Think. I need you to think. and they would react and respond. And the beauty of it for me was watching that when you spoke there, you got eyes. You got eyes on you. They didn't drop their heads. They weren't looking away. When coach spoke up, they looked up to acknowledge and accept whatever you were getting. And that doesn't always happen at the University of Nebraska. I just want to say that out loud. So there's that.
Yeah, I think you just come off, the more authentic you come off. And, I like, we walk on the court and I joke around with the guys, and we go down the line. Like there's things we talk about, and that, all the slang, and I try and jump in on the slang and I mess it up and they laugh, like so I think that all goes into it. I think, I don't know. Hopefully they think I'm kind of cool and like I'm a cool head coach. I'm young. I'm kind of in the time still a little bit. They understand I was a good player. I came from a good program. We sit down and talk about it all the time. At the end of the day, at practice day, we practiced for 2 hours, and it was more of a doubles tactical day. It wasn't very physical, but we really broke it down, like what I want to see on every volley, what I want to see on every ground stroke, and at the end of practice, we just sat down for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and we went over it. I'm like, guys, this is exactly why I want you to understand exactly why I want you to volley like this. And I want you to understand exactly why I want you to hit the ground strokes like this. And I walked them through the whole thing. And I was like, it all comes down to what's going to work under pressure. And are we going to be the team making mistakes and bad decisions? Or are we going to be the team putting the ball in the court one more time and making the other team make the bad decisions? So it just like every sport, in every game, there's a team that wins by a little bit and there's a team that loses by a little bit. And I don't know how many times, how many coaches have came in here, you heard it, where, we're so close, we got to do a few things better. But I think at that point, it's almost too late. Like all that stuff has to happen and that has to be ingrained in your program now. And that's what I'm trying to tell the guys. I'm like, look, we have about a month left of practice before dead week and then finals. And then you guys are all, booking it for a few weeks before you come back to play in January. And then we got 2 weeks to go. And if we're spending those 2 weeks before the season to try and do this stuff, we're not going to be in a good spot, guys. So getting them to understand, like, hey, today is the day. We have to get this done. By the time we leave and you guys go home for winter break, this has got to be ingrained in you, and we've got to be going through this, and it's got to look good before we come back.
Is this the packaging so that when they take off and separate, that they can take that stuff with them in their workouts when they go wherever they're going to go?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's the workouts, you have the weight room, and a lot of it, we use this a company called Catapult to kind of measure. Like, I think it's very common in football and basketball, but tennis, I think there's only about 10 different programs that actually use it for tennis. So we use that to understand. We're trying to teach our guys how their bodies work. We let them, every week we sit down, we talk to them about, hey, this is what your loads look like on this day. How'd you feel on that day? So then it's not just us managing them, but they can also learn how to manage themselves when they go home, because tennis is a sport that's individual and you're by yourself. So if they can understand, okay, like, I don't have to work like for 5 hours every day. I can go and bust my butt for an hour and a half. And I'm doing what I need to do this on a day like today. And then I got to go to the gym. So it gives you more feedback. Our guys have more feedback. When we're on the court, I don't really change the intensity of things very often. Today I went a little less intense and a little more instructional, but we substitute the timing of practice. We're not always going to go. Some days you got to go 2.5 hours, 3 hours, because that's how long, a match can go, and you got to be able to do that. But if you do that every day, guys are going to get hurt and injured. And like I always say, your best ability is availability. So you got to have guys available and you got to have guys healthy and ready to go. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole circle thing. Guys they've got to take more ownership of their game, whether or not they want to be a pro tennis player or not. They've got to own it. If things aren't going well, they got to, come back and understand that, if practice is for 2 hours and that's all we're asking you to do, but your forehand isn't feeling right or your serve isn't feeling right, coming back and doing some extra work on your own, that's not really extra work in today's world. That's just the standard. We're trying to get our guys to understand that, and I think it's starting to click in their heads a little bit more, which is nice.
Are you, as a coach at this level, can you ever be satisfied with your team's, conditioning? like the place that they are conditioning wise? Do you ever feel like, yeah, I'm good with this, or is there always a little more?
I think you can. I think you can. In tennis, you don't really know, and you have a good idea when you practice, but when you play a match, it's different. So when you go and watch, we have one more tournament that we're going to take them to at the end of October over Halloween weekend, and that'll be like one more time. Over the course of the fall, we've tinkered with a few different things within the system, training wise, not necessarily how we practice, but training wise, to see how they respond to certain things. And we've made a few more adjustments going into this last month. So we kind of want to see how the team reacts and how certain guys react to certain things. And then we can kind of adjust, and we're like, okay, by the time January rolls around, we have a better idea how, Nico handles things, how Leo handles things, how much they need to practice the day before, or they need more reps, or understanding the guys just better, I think helps everyone. I think the players trust us more as coaches too, knowing that, hey, like, they understand me, and today I need to work hard. So I'm going to be more willing to work hard, as opposed to we're just going to work hard every day and coach doesn't care. And then as a coach, you also understand your players, like, and you know what they're able to do, and if they're hitting some of those markers that aren't good a week ahead before the match, you're like, okay, like, we got to adjust some things before we start. So I think the more information you have, the better, DP.
Where do you stand on coaching each player the same? Because I noticed that there's a very definitive difference in tone depending on the player, right? That sometimes you have to push a player that you're going to lean on more heavily a little harder than some of the guys who are in development. I've seen that you will be very specific about a thing you've coached somebody on versus a new thing. You're a teacher when it comes to the new thing.
Sure.
The repeat offender gets that other coach.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's a couple layers there. So when we have new guys in the program, one of the things I love to do is to really dig in and see what we got. Like, when you recruit, you think you know what you have, and then you get them into the program and you really put them through the fire, and you look and see if you got what you have. Is this guy, just from a mental makeup standpoint, is he gonna run through a brick wall no matter what? If I dig into him and yell at him a little bit, or scream, like, really dig in there, hoot and holler, and they're like, whoa, what's this? Are they gonna back down, or are they gonna stay there in the moment and handle it? That doesn't happen all the time, but over the course of the fall, you start to test them a little bit more. You throw some more stuff at them, and you start to see how they handle things, because that's ultimately what college tennis is how well can you handle some of those things that come your way. And then, yeah, like with our seniors, we have 4 seniors. We'll have a 5th come in January. He's technically a new guy to the program, but we'll have four seniors. One of them's been in the program for 4 years. So if he's not doing what he's supposed to, like, that, I snap real quick with those guys, and I'm just like, hey, like, that's not it. Like, so, yeah, I mean, and everyone's motivated differently too.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys are more motivated by fear. Some guys, you need to put your arm around them and coach them. They, all the guys say that, I have a favorite player on the team, and I'm just like, look, like, my job is you're all my favorite, but my job is I'm not going to treat everyone the same, because I got to make sure I get the most out of all of you, so that when the season comes around, that we give ourselves the best chance to be the best team that we can be. If I don't do that, then I'm not going to be able to coach him the same way. It's just not going to work. So you got to communicate all this. The guys are, oh, you love Leo, man. You love Leo's your favorite. And I'm just like, look, like, I love all you guys, but how I coach Leo, I can't yell and scream at Leo. He'll go into a shell and he won't talk, and he won't listen. He won't be a good teammate. But Nico, you thrive under that stuff. So if it's just the way it is, and I know this, so you just got to do your thing, man. So
after 30 plus years, I learned this thing that I explained. Yeah, coaches aren't supposed to have favorites, but we absolutely do. And it usually comes down to trust. Can I trust this person to take the information and the opportunity and do the best with it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing. We'll throw it to break. We'll come back. I do want to pitch an idea to coach. It's what we were talking about last night. Some of these sports have this. Tennis doesn't, and I don't understand. It needs to change. It needs to change. We'll talk about that with Coach Peter Kobelt when we come back here to the ticket.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Carmela's Bistro and Wine Bar in Lincoln reminds listeners to keep our local farmers in your heart during the fall harvest season. Our local farmers work hard to provide for our daily meals all year round. Carmela's Bistro and Wine Bar, located at 4141 Pioneer Woods Drive in Lincoln, offers fresh and delicious pasta, seafood, hand-cut steaks, and a wide variety of wines. For reservations, call 402-489-0005. The staff at Carmela's Bistro and Wine Bar in Lincoln are forever grateful to the dedication of our local farmers.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
If you are a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Cobble Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Cobble is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Cobble Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at cobblecars.com.
Harvest season is here, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade now. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends September 30th, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer. Usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
You're back for set 2 of the Husker Tennis Hour, live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Peter Kobelt.
It's a thing. Welcome back. Peter Kobelt, Husker Tennis in the building. And I teased this thing that we were giving away last night, and these were NIL. It's Onit, ONIT, and they do these trading cards. They can do packs. Within some of them, you get a signed card, or there's like a silver edition, a gold edition.
Yeah, it'll tell you the rarity of it on the top right.
Yeah.
X out of what number.
Yeah, and there's only 200 in some of them. There's only 200 of them made.
There's some one-of-ones in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it's some pretty cool stuff in there.
Okay, nice.
But if you imagine that for tennis, it would be that, where they're action cards, right? You can pick how you set them up and who. I mean, you've got what, 8 players?
8 players. We have up to 10. I don't know. Maybe you can even do some of our alumni.
Yeah, you could do the Hall of Fame.
thinking.
Yeah, that's what Harrison said, was just to do like a Hall of Fame edition.
Call it a history pack or whatever you want.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame club, whatever it is you want to add in that. And again, this pack, I think football's a little bit more than volleyball and basketball, but I think you can do the individual pack for like $12.95, and you can do like a big collection pack with different colors, different those sort of things, and anywhere from $39 to $79.
I mean, those would we put those down at a home match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what in pitching
people would grab those for sure.
Pitching it to Mark Manning, the whole point was with wrestling, they do autograph signings after, kind of like what you do. They do the meet and greets afterwards. Well, if these cards are being sold in the venue,
right?
Like some are going to walk in with them, but others, hey, come on through.
Right.
Like, come on through, get signed, hold it up, take a picture, put it on social media, do the dang thing. And that's just, as my dude said, straight cash, homie. But I think that's, Harrison gets used to me. Like, I go off on these tangents at night because the ideas start to flow and you go, here's what I would want to do. And then I get frustrated because in daytime hours, you run into the wall of bureaucracy.
Sure.
And they keep you from saying, you have people go, we'll write the check. And you go, they can't accept your check. But when I see something that actually works, that they've set a path for, we can get on that path. And I think that's a pretty good idea along the way.
Sure.
So it's there. Talk to our listeners about this group of 8, this roster of 8, and what you got going on. I did have, and remind me on the next break, I have a picture to show you. Somebody sent a picture, and I can't share it with the public, but I have to show you. I'm supposed to show you.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Something we talked about before, but somebody got active on it. But I think it would be helpful to know some of the young men that are going through this process with you, and that will wear the end this year for Husker tennis.
Sure. Well, let's start with the seniors. The guy that's been here all 4 years with me. I was an assistant the first year, interim head coach second year, and then finished my first year head coach last year, going into my second year officially as the head coach. Leo Linquet from Argentina, engineering major, smart kid, hard worker.
You don't have any dumb kids.
Very talented. No, the tennis team, they like school. They do the school part really well. You got Nico Sisoev. He's originally from Moscow, Russia. He just got his citizenship earlier this year, so he's officially an American citizen, which is really cool. We got Joan Torres Espinosa, aka Tapa. We call him Tapa because he's from Spain and he's small, and everybody loves him.
Yeah.
So everyone
very likable young man.
Everyone loves a Tapa.
Yeah.
We got Henry Bilisic. He's our super senior. He's doing his grad degree this year. He's got last year of eligibility. From New York. 6'10", big serve, great doubles player. So those are our seniors. We got
Harrison. That's the one that Coach Kobelt gives the most verbal volley to. That is his dude who, you know what? Just sometimes he'll just look at him and point his fingers at him, and you know there's a full conversation going on without any words.
We have a really good relationship, and he works really hard. He really's bought into what we're doing, and he was one of our captains last year. And if you're a captain, the standards are even higher. You know, you got privileges that the other guys don't have. You get to talk to the coaches, help make decisions. But if you're going to be doing that, you got to be able to run the practice. He actually stepped up a little bit today and started talking to the guys in a tone in practice today. That was the first time I've really seen him do that this year, which is exciting. But we got after Henry, we got Colson Wells, who's he's redshirt sophomore from Okemos, Michigan. Another hard worker. He loves tennis. He's gonna continue to keep getting better and better each and every year. He's relentless, and guys that are relentless always figure out a way to get better. And then we have some of the newer guys also coming in. We have Henry Lamchinia from Australia. He's a double transfer. He was at a school in Mississippi for a year, and then he went to Sacramento State for a year, and then he made it all the way here. He played number one singles, and he's finally found a home here. We're super excited about him. And then we have two of our freshmen. We got Jari Lassila from Helsinki, Finland. Smaller guy, very explosive and strong, but he's got to work on a few tennis things and also change his mindset a little bit. But he's willing to do it, which is exciting. And then Niels van der Siege from the Netherlands. Just a really good kid, comes from a great family, loves tennis. You know, that's the theme that we're recruiting, is we want guys that love tennis, that want tennis to be their fun time of the day, that aren't scared when the big moment comes, that are willing to work hard and, you know, do it the right way every day. So I think we got a really good young crop of guys that are learning from some experienced seniors that really care about the program, that want to do well. So I think it's a good blend. And yeah, I mean, we're excited to see kind of where this team goes this year for sure.
And then your coaching staff, your assistants that help make this thing go.
Yeah, Brett Foreman. He joined us the year ago. He's been at a couple different schools. He was at University of Wisconsin for one semester. He was at Princeton for one semester. He was at Wichita State for 2 years. He was at Charlotte for 1 year. So he played his college tennis at Michigan State. He's a Big Ten guy. He just a meat and potatoes. We say bread and butter. You know, nothing fancy with him. He's just a workhorse. Will do anything you ask him to do. Really cares about everything that we're trying to do. Really smart. Understands the recruiting game really well. Has a great mindset on the court too. Understands how to, you know, connect with the guys. Like he's an amazing coach. He's going to be a great head coach one day. Hopefully that's his next stop as a head coach somewhere. And then our graduate assistant is Shunya Mariyama from Japan. He played for us for 5 years. I coached him for 2 of those, and now he's getting into the coaching game. So after this spring, he'll graduate with his master's in psychology, and I think he still wants to stay in tennis. So hopefully we can keep him here in Nebraska. If not, I'm sure he'll get into the college coaching game somewhere else. But that's one of our many challenges, is trying to keep the staff together, and that's kind of how college sports are. But that's kind of the team. And then, I mean, we got a whole host of support staff that really take good care of us. We got our own sports dietitian, our own strength coach, our own sports psychologist, our own athletic trainer, our own, I said strength coach already, but I mean, the list goes on and on. Nebraska is full of resources, a life skills department, you know, all the tutors and academic support that you could possibly want and need. So for me, it's like, how can I empower my staff, and how can I, when I do delegate, make sure I give the right thing, the right task to the right person, make sure they're all holding up the standards the way that I see fit. And then, you know, with the things that I control, you know, making sure that the standards being set, and then, you know, making sure that, you know, we're giving our guys every opportunity to succeed on the court. So it sounds like a lot, but it's, when you set the standards and this is kind of the way it is, it's easy for everyone to kind of pivot from there and say, okay, like this is how coach wants it. Like, so this is how it's going to get done. And we can kind of figure out how we need to do it from there.
There seems to be, with the abundance of resource, there's still kind of a bottleneck to get coaches in different programs have talked about the difficulty in trying to get athletes to actually consume and use all these resources. Does tennis have that problem in getting international players into some of the spaces that they need to get into for all the resources that are available?
I think that's part of a coach's job is you got to show them why that's important. So what I'll do is if someone if they come to practice and they've got a bad attitude every day or keeps bugging them, like I'll really lean into it at practice and I'll be like, hey, like I'll talk to them after practice and I was like, hey, I'll just say Henry. Not that he did anything, but I'll just say Henry. I'll be like, Henry, man, let's meet in my office after.
Henry's ears just perked up wherever he is.
Let's meet in my office after practice. So we'll sit down and we'll talk. And I'll be like, look, it's been like 2.5 weeks, and how your attitude's hasn't been great for 2.5 weeks. Like, do you care about this team? Do you want this team to do well? And he's gonna say yeah. And I'm like, well, I think there's a few things that you can do. You can take advantage here that I don't know if you're taking advantage of. I think you should go see Dr. Pino and talk about this with him and just see what he has to say. And then I think that's how you can kind of like help guys use some of this stuff. Otherwise, if it doesn't come from me, like then they can lose sight on it because there's a lot of things that they're responsible for and the things that they have to do. But if I make it feel like they should probably try and do it, then I think that gives them more of a chance to do it. So I think coaching that stuff into it, coaching has a lot of impact in the guys doing stuff like that. Most of the time, they're not just going to sign up for something without if they really don't believe they need it. So if there's people saying that they need it or they should try it, then they probably will. They'll at least try it, which is the first step to doing it. So for me, that's kind of how I handle it. We meet all the time with the guys. That's nice being on a small team. You can kind of do that stuff, but yeah, it's hard. You can walk a horse to water, but you can't always make it drink. So you kind of have to convince it to do so sometimes.
Well, some of the other sports, and this is kind of the point being the beauty of having you here, because in some cases, football, wrestling, where they'll say the aggressive physical nature of that sport would lead them to not want to go into that dark corner to start to question themselves about something like that. So sharing that might be considered weakness. Is that a part of tennis and the thinking of some of these athletes that maybe that area would deem them weak?
No.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe a smidgen of truth to that. In the fact, like, hey, like I gotta like buck up here and I gotta like get the job done. There's that in every sport. But I think the key to being successful is really understanding yourself, understanding what you're good at and understanding what you're not good at. And then the stuff that you're not good at, you just find help and you address it. And the stuff that you are good at, you keep trying to evolve on. You make that stuff evolve and get and improve on it. But yeah, you can't just shove it over on the right and ignore it. I think that's how you can go down some dark roads mentally, and that ends up burning you in the end, even if it doesn't while you're here. Like I think later on, it teaches you how not to handle things the right way. I think you got to communicate about it. You don't have to make it public, or you don't have to go to a certain person. Sometimes all you have to do is just talk about it. So sometimes I'm not the right person to talk to. That's why we have our sports psychologist, Dr. Pino. He does an amazing job. Sometimes it's easier to talk to the assistant coach about it, or to talk to the captain, or there's different ways to do it. But yeah, I think you got to be able to communicate what you're feeling. You got to feel comfortable enough to come up to me or whomever to communicate how you're feeling, and then we can have a discussion from there.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating how it plays out in between sports and the coach and the staff. having a smaller kind of roster makes it easier for you to have control of that. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I was thinking as we were talking about it, I was thinking about it. I don't think other than game day that I ever talked to my head coach when I was in college. It was mainly the assistants. It was most of all the inner workings and mainly the head coach.
I mean, tennis is almost the opposite. It's almost always the head coach. And I understand from a football standpoint, like Coach Rule can't coach 120 dudes on game. Those assistant coaches and those offensive and defensive coordinators, special teams coordinator, like those are their people really. And they, Coach Rule coaches them what they need to be doing. And, obviously that in terms of their identity, I think Coach Rule, what makes him unique is he kind of lets the other guys, be the head coach of whatever they're coaching. If your wide receivers aren't getting it done, like Coach Rule is going to come up to you and be like, hey man, your guys aren't getting it done. Like, let's go. Like, I'm not going to go in there and coach unless he really, really has to, but he's, you got to do so many different things nowadays. And I think that's the hardest part with coaching. I'm responsible for the entire team, how they do in school. I'm responsible for their success on the court. I'm responsible for how their genuine mental health and everything like that. But then also fundraising, managing the budget, all, you name it, like that stuff that's all falls on my plate. So there's a lot that goes into it, but that's what makes the job fun. You're always trying to figure out how to navigate space and do it better than your competition.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I tell people all the time, this radio station is just a team. It's just a team, but I have to end up coaching all day, every day. We'll throw the break. We'll come back. We'll ask Coach about a moment that happened or a situation that happened with Nebraska football. I'll ask his take on how he would talk to players who had been, I don't know if there's an equal in tennis to being physically dominated, but we would ask that question. And how would you deal with it? How do you get players back on board after a performance where you feel like maybe you were not prepared? We'll ask that question when we come back.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Do you want boots that actually feel good on your feet? Meindl delivers premium German-engineered comfort, brought to you right here from Nebraska. Built tough for trails, fields, and everyday wear, and backed by Meindl's Comfort Promise, so you can try them on with confidence. Use promo code THETICKET at MeindlUSA.com, spelled MEINDL, for free shipping. That's MeindlUSA.com. Meindl, comfort you have to feel to believe.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Why are some people more successful
Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
It's time for the third set of the Husker Tennis Hour, live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Peter Kobelt.
Peter Kobelt, Husker Tennis, in the building. Going to announce that he will be moving to Tuesdays at 11 a.m., 11 to noon. You know, we'll be flexible. So, like, once he gets in season and he needs to move it around, but we'll have those weekdays that we can play with. You know, we can even have him come in and pre-record. You know, we'll work with Coach.
Let's do it.
You know, to get him in, to have his full hour to break this stuff down. Before we get back to the football thing, Harrison, at their practice that went to, the lead was, who's the GOAT in basketball?
That seems to be a frequent occurrence over at the tennis program.
I mean, the GOAT is MJ, and then everyone keeps telling me it's this guy named LeBron. But he's an Ohio guy. I'm an Ohio guy. Like, and everyone's like, why aren't you a fan of LeBron? It's like, it's not that I'm not a fan of LeBron. We're talking about who's the GOAT, who's top 5. And for me, mindset is always the separator there. So
they tell the story. And I love that story has transitioned to, forget about, I mean, you could base it on the numbers and the wins and that sort of thing. But what players who played against Jordan say now is, the part that we miss is that he may be the greatest practice player to ever live.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? They said this guy he never lost a practice. He never took a practice off. He didn't sleep. Like, he would go, he'd play 46 minutes, stay in the gym an hour, beat them to the gym, already put in an hour's work, and then kick everybody's tail that day before going and playing golf. You know,
that's why him and Kobe are always that mirror reflection.
Yep.
Same dudes.
That's why I love Kobe. Kobe was my guy.
Yeah.
Growing up, that was like my guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you like Kobe, you in my opinion, you just can't like LeBron like that.
Isn't that the truth?
That's
Like,
just how I feel.
I've never been able to phrase it, but I think that is the way to phrase it.
You just have to say it. Like, it just needs to be done. Okay, so is there a tennis equivalent to being pushed around on the football field? Is there a thing? Is it, your return of service is bad, unforced errors? What is it in tennis where you would go, ugh, you didn't give it to me today. You didn't have it today. What is that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely there in tennis, even though it's not a sport where you're running into people. That happens all the time. There's some programs that are known for, maybe like a Michigan that's known for just lining up and running through you. I would say that was the team that I played for at Ohio State. That's kind of their mentality. So, going into the match they're going to come at you and they're going to hit hard, and they're these big, strong guys that are physical, that practice like crazy, and the coach is, crazy, and they're, it's going to be a war if you want to beat them. So I'm trying to duplicate that a little bit in our own way, in the Nebraska way, and also have a better I have a better idea of what these guys need to do as opposed to what they're doing there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. An example would be, I think how you start in tennis says a lot about your mentality. I think coming out with the right energy in tennis, you see it all the time. A lot of guys won't bring positive energy until they do something positive on the court, like win a point. And I'm like, look, you can bring positive energy whenever. But they're like, well, I can't. Like, nothing good's happened. I'm like, well, it's okay. Like, just because you haven't won a point.
Well, you've done the work already.
Right. So there's a little bit, there's a lot of like little small things, but it's a momentum game. Just like tennis is a very, very much a momentum game, and you can control the momentum with numerous different resources. But I think energy and your attitude are critical. Your mental self-talk, like all that. Like it's super important, and it's still a one-on-one game, and you have to win the last point in tennis to win the match. There's no clock, and you got to go out and beat that guy, and you've got to be mentally fit and ready to go for the entire time. But you can be playing terrible tennis, and you can be extremely positive in your mind, and you can make that match really tough. And you can play amazing tennis, and you can be mentally weak in your mind, and that guy can beat you like a drum. So I think it has a lot to do with your mentality and coming out strong and having that mental fortitude. And you came out to practice, DP, and you saw, like, that's a lot of what we do at practice is just put our guys in stressful situations. And then I watch and see, I'm like, hey, is this guy going to be positive? Is he going to bring good energy? It's the first ball of the practice. Are we going to be like, oh, here we go again? Or are we going to come out and fired up, ready to go? So
we have 30 seconds. What happened Saturday, Husker football versus Northwestern?
I think we bounce back in a strong way. If everything that was said and everything that the guys went through this week, if that's true, then watch out. The Huskers are going to come guns a-blazing Saturday afternoon.
You going to the game? You going to be at the game?
I think so. I got my tickets. I'll be in town, so I'll try and make it out there for sure.
Okay, we'll make sure. We'll do that. Coach, we'll see you. We'll see you this weekend, Harrison. And then we will do it again next Tuesday, 11 o'clock. Don't go anywhere, 11 o'clock. You know where your kids are.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth.